river landforms of deposition. So we're going to be looking mainly at the lower course. That's because the prevalent or prevailing fluvial process is deposition, and that deposition is usually in the form of alluvium. So if we have a look at the middle to lower course, we can see we've got a very wide valley with gentle valley slides. We've got some meanders and an oxbow lake forming, suggesting that we have both processes of erosion and deposition occurring. We've got some interlocking spurs that have been eroded, giving the river that snaking character, but also fertile soil in the form of alluvium, which is very, very fine silt that has been eroded and then distributed by the river, usually during flood events, to form a floodplain over thousands of years. So here we have a floodplain, as you can see, generally quite a low-lying, flat area that frequently floods, and that alluvium is distributed all over the floodplain, building it up over those thousands of years. Another landform of deposition that we might get during a flood event are levees. So when a river floods, it deposits the silt, the sand that it is carrying, because it is running out of energy. It deposits it on the banks of the river. The coarser, heavier material will get deposited closer to the edge of the river channel, whereas the finer silt and sand will get carried out onto the floodplain to contribute to that build-up of alluvium. As that keeps happening over thousands of years, the levees will continue to build, but we will also get the deposition of silt in the riverbed in between flood events. Finally, after hundreds, perhaps 1,000 years of alluvium build-up and the build-up of deposited sediment, we'll have a new riverbed level that will cause the river potentially to flow quite high above the floodplain. But most importantly, we have these large levees with all the coarser, heavier material built up next to the river, where it has the most energy during the flood event, and the finer silt and sand spread out along the floodplain, building that floodplain up out of alluvium. So you can see here we have natural levees running alongside the river predominantly. On this side you can see a footpath has been built in as a social opportunity, perhaps for some tourists. We've also got an estuary here, so this is the Firth of Clyde, and at this point the river is tidal. So when the tide goes out, that creates mudflats in the area where the fresh water of the river meets the salt water of the sea. It's sometimes called brackish water if it's a mix, leading to causing mudflats to form with an estuary, a nice ecosystem for lots of coastal birds, for example, and wildlife. So here you can see an OS map of the Firth of Clyde. You can see the tidal parts where the river mouth meets the Irish Sea, and you can see the mudflats that have built up in the tidal part of the river.